Hi guys, it's Dan and Becky from
Bugs on the Windshield.
and today we're on the Paiute Trail in Utah.
A little dusty though.
A little dusty, quite a bit dusty. Man, this year was such a strange year. We had so many things planned for the summer of 2020. We weren't sure everything was going to work out. In fact, some things didn't. But we were really glad that our couple's off-roading trip worked out. We went to
Marysvale in Utah. We were able to get out and still be social distancing. We were out of town. It was a small town.
Right.
It was just the
Cooked our own food.
Cooked our own food. Stayed,
Made our own fun.
Yeah.
This video is a collaboration with our friend Jeff, who basically plans these trips every year for us all, and
he does a lot of work.
He does a lot of work and gets it prepared and stuff, and he found the place we stayed, and there are a lot of things, factors that go into that.
Yeah.
You can probably speak to that better than me. I know he looks for
places for us to all stay, that we can have enough room to park all the rigs, to get the enough place for us to stay, of course, enough rooms,
so we're all comfortable and everything.
Kitchen and access to the trails from there.
So anyway, we hope you enjoy it, and we're just going to go through some questions that we came up with and spark some conversation along the way. So I hope you enjoy it.
Thanks for watching.
We have Jeff joining us today to talk about our trip in July of 2020 to the Paiute Trail in Utah. Hi, Jeff.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
Oh, welcome. It's always fun to get to talk to you through some of these things.
But no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. All we need is 22 minutes worth of you just talking.
So, go.
I'm not sure I've got even 2 minutes.
We have plenty of questions, so we should have plenty to talk about.
Yes, we do. So let's get started. How did you guys hear about the Paiute Trail, and what made you or what made us as a group want to go?
Well, I think actually Dan, is responsible for actually coming up with us where to go. Years ago, I remember Dan talking about this trail.
Yeah, I did. I was actually watching a program on TV. It was ATV television, and the host was actually from this area, or does a lot of Utah trails, and he would promote the Paiute Trail. And I just thought that just looked like a lot of fun place to go. And we were just starting to get into ATV at the time, so we didn't know if we were going to really want to get out that far to ride. But I'm glad we eventually did make the effort to get out. The one thing that kept us from going to it was the distance. It was a little bit farther out than, say, a Moab or something like that from where we were at.
I remember talking about back on the ATVs, because I know a lot of the trails out there used to be 50-inch wide or less, and I think still quite a few of them are, but we didn't seem to have too many problems with that while we were there.
Yeah, we were able to actually get on some of the 60-inch wide trails, and that's kind of nice to be able to do that. I see that there are more of that, opening the trails up for the UTVs now. Yeah,
but with the popularity of side-by-side UTVs, they're going to have to start opening more trails, I think, to maintain or keep people interested in coming out.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a little bit farther for us to get out there. What was it, about 5 hours from Evergreen?
I think it's actually longer than that.
Is it longer than that?
Because it takes us almost 5 hours to get to Moab.
Yeah, that's what I was trying.
I think it was closer to 7 or 8 hours going over there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because that's right. It was about that. So yeah, I think it takes about 8 hours to get there because it was towards evening when we got there. It was after our dinner time.
Yeah, and I think we left pretty quick. I think didn't we leave like around 9:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
And we didn't get there till late afternoon.
Yeah, actually it was because I think one thing was we couldn't check in till 4 or something. I know it was after that when we got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit farther to drive. It is a little bit farther west because you actually go past the Moab turnoff. I remember that, seeing that, and going, oh, we could go right there, but we still had quite a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, I think from Moab we still had a few hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
And it's just as we just kept going further west, I kept thinking, oh, we got to be getting close, and it just there's a ways out there. It was an easy drive. It was I-70 the whole way. So with the speed limit being 80 miles an hour out there on I-70 in Utah, with my tow rig, I wasn't quite able to keep up at 80 miles an hour, so we were going a little slower too.
Where did you get the info for maps and things like that, and how did you determine which one of those trails you wanted to ride?
Well, before we went out there, I got online and ordered a couple of different maps to figure out where we were going to go, because since none of us had ever been there before, it was pretty critical to get some good maps so we knew where we were going. And then once we got the maps, I just kind of looked through and tried to figure out what trails were close to where we're based at with that rental house.
Yeah, that was a nice thing. We were able to actually ride from the rental house to the trails. We do have to ride through town, but it's not a bad run. But you do have a little bit of a ride to get to the trailheads.
And it didn't take long to get through town. I mean, the town's not more than quarter mile long, half mile. Didn't seem like.
Yeah, so it's not bad. And like I say, that it's the nice thing about where we stayed is they were pretty helpful too with leaving some maps at the rental house. So they gave.
Yeah, they were. And in fact, that night, I think it was the first time we were there, one of the owners came over and actually was showing me on a map trails that he would recommend we go on.
Yeah. They were real helpful in that respect because they knew the area real well. And it was always kind of nice to get that perspective from someone who's out there actually riding the trails to know where to go and what to see. So, because it was kind of a new territory for us.
What'd you guys think of the trails?
I liked them. I thought they were scenic.
They're an easier trail for what we're used to in some cases, but that could have just been from the trails we chose. But there definitely there's some scenic trails. You do raise in elevation quite a little bit in some of them, and
yeah, which it was a good thing we raised in elevation because it was really hot down at the lower elevation. So it was nice to get up to the higher elevation where it's a little cooler.
Yeah, because we were actually a little bit lower at the starting point. So it definitely was, and it was, unfortunately, that time of year, it was pretty warm.
Did you guys feel like the trails were easy or hard enough?
I personally thought the trails were easy. Sometimes I would have wished for a little more technical trails every now and then, so for a little more challenge. But they were scenic. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, they are pretty easy trails as far as ones we took. It would have been nice to have maybe a little bit of a challenge now and again.
What do you think was the most scenic part of the trip? I don't know if we can pinpoint that. I don't know if
that's hard to put, but we did see some nice. There was some.
You know, that one lake. What was the name of that lake we went to?
The last day?
Yeah, the last day. I thought that was real scenic up there.
It might.
Oh, was it Deb? Manning Meadows. Okay, yeah, I remember that one now. But now there's three lakes I'm thinking of. So Manning Meadows was that one. I guess we had lunch here, right, Deb?
Oh, that's where we had.
Yeah, that's where we had lunch. That was
Okay.
Manning Meadows. Okay.
I wonder which one was Barney
Yeah.
Lake. I thought we went.
So then there was another one up higher that we stopped at. Remember we went there today that Dan didn't go with us.
That must have been Barney Lake.
Okay, that was Barney. Yep, Debbie agrees. Yep. Yeah, so actually, Manning Meadows. I think that was probably my favorite eatery.
After some of the short climbs, we can get up and see some of the nice vistas. That was pretty cool.
I thought so too. I thought some of them were breathtaking. What do you think made it a fun ride for you guys? And what was your favorite part? Just kind of put it together.
The only downside I saw for the riding was because they were in such an extreme drought out there, the trails were very dusty. And unless you were in the lead, you had to fall way back behind or you're going to eat the dust.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a downside of it. But then in the meantime, it was so dry out there, but yet that one trail we wanted to go over was closed because the snow was still up top.
So yeah, it's kind of like best of both worlds there. You have it's really dry or you're really wet. I do agree that the trails were dusty, and you can see just by the video that the ATVs got pretty dusty on that. Being that time of year, that's probably what you have to expect.
But as I say, I'm not sure when a better time to go would be, because if we went any earlier in the year, there would have been more snow up there. We would have gone even less places than what we did while we were there. But any later in the year, and the trails are even going to be more dusty. So,
Do you guys think that you would go back and ride the Paiute?
I know the Paiute's a long trail. It's a long trail system, and there's probably other areas to go. I don't know if I'd do this particular area again. There's other areas that I might want to go check out.
Yeah, I would definitely go back. I'd probably go to a different section just because we've seen this now. But I'm not in a hurry. Maybe in a few years, I'd like to go back.
I know you guys have ridden a lot of years in a lot of different places. How do you think the Paiute Trail falls in comparison to all the other trails that you've done? And what's your number one?
I'd say my number one is the Taylor Park area, just because of the high mountains and the scenery.
Yeah,
What do you think? What's your favorite, Dan?
Yeah, I'd almost say probably something like that would be probably my favorite. The Moab area is really pretty close to that because there's a lot of different stuff to do there. But as far as like say being able to drive from either your campsite or a cabin, you could stay on trail. Harder trails, some easier trails.
And it's hard to pick a favorite area because it's always fun to go to different places. Like Moab is so different, like you were saying, Dan. Moab is so different than the trails in Colorado, and actually it was so different than the Paiute Trail. So it's, if it's been a while since I've been to Moab, I have the desire to go back there. If it's been a while since we've been to Lake City, it's always fun to go back there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, which one's the favorite.
I do have to admit though that one of my best memories or good memories was actually doing the trail we did actually later in the summer was the Georgetown Loop and all that, because that goes way back to beginning and everything was new and fresh then. And so that kind of still holds a special place in my heart for that, because the newness of it, that whole area right there, being able to look down onto Georgetown, having the switchbacks. I mean, as far as like say a single trail.
Yeah, no, I agree. That is a fun area, and you're right. That's kind of like close to where it all started.
Yeah, I mean, we did have Leadville, and Redcone was another one that I think's kind of that same way. It has that special meaning because we spent some time there. It was new. We were learning the ropes basically of how to climb some pretty good hills and rocks and everything.
For individual trails, I'd say Redcone is probably close to my favorite trail.
I really do. When I think about that, I think about that long trail after you come up out of the top of the climb there, and you're kind of like on that where it drops off on both sides, and you're kind of climbing to that 12,000 feet.
Yep.
I don't know.
I've got a picture of us up on top, staying by I think it's 12,300 feet or something like that on top.
Yeah.
We've got that picture of us up there.
There's probably only about 3 or 4 times that we've actually been over, or been up to 12,000, I think, on our, and it's kind of incredible to think that be able to climb that high.
Yeah.
Where did you guys go? This is off of the question. So where did you guys go when you were out there in August? When you went out there then? What trails did you guys ride then?
Georgetown was one of them we did. You know what, Dan? That was all we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we
Just took us longer to do all the
we spent
modifications than
yeah,
we thought it would.
spent a lot of time working on the Razor that trip.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about specifically about the Paiute?
I thought where we stayed was nice.
Oh,
Having that big porch out there and
Yeah.
having all the farmland to look at.
It was nice to be able to play cornbag along the side of the cabin, the house there, and have a nice spot for that, nice level spot, so I could beat you guys in cornbag. I mean, I tried to win in cornbag.
Well, I've got a different memory of that than you, but we'll go with yours.
Yeah, there's no video of anybody winning or losing, so we have no proof of anybody who won or lost on that. So we'll have to call that just a scratch.
Well, it was also nice because we were away from anyone, so we weren't disturbing anyone by playing cornbag or
Yeah, that's true.
making noise.
Yeah, that was. I mean, not that we're loud, but it's nice to kind of be isolated there where you don't have to worry about any neighbors. And it was far enough off the highway, I thought, that I didn't really hear any. Of course, there's not that much traffic out there, but didn't hear a lot of the traffic coming down.
No, I thought there was very little traffic noise.
And so, and like I say, there was no lights to bother you or anything like that. So you're far enough. You're close enough to the road where you can get to it, but you're far enough away where you don't hear the noise. That's what's nice about that. And it is a nice place. Plenty of space.
Yeah, plenty of parking too for our trucks and trailers in the ATVs.
Yeah, that was nice. We were able to line everything up and have room to get them in and out and work on them and whatever we needed to do. Get them loaded up.
On the brakes on my trailer.
Yeah, working on the brakes on the trailer, yeah.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you catch one of your own videos or somebody else's videos of UTV riding or ATV riding for that matter, or you see pictures or anything like that? What's the first thing that comes to mind to you guys?
Actually, probably one of the first things that comes to my mind is just how fun it is to get together with everyone. I mean, I don't. Where we go isn't really near as important as who we're there with.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just fun to spend time with your friends and just hang out and ride, play cornbag, have a barbecue, drink a beer or two.
Or two.
Or Tawaka.
One of the first things I think of when I see somebody else's ATV is, man, what if their shocks are leaking oil like mine?
Now that one I didn't expect.
I don't know if Dan told you my shocks that I had rebuilt and were so excited about, they blew out and they're no good anymore.
But you got them fixed and everything?
No, I haven't. I've been so disgusted. I haven't done anything with the machine.
So he's going to go buy a new one tomorrow.
A new shock or
No, new machine. He's gonna buy him a
get the
Razor Pro or
what's the bigger one? The XP or
XP
whatever.
Pro, yeah. Ain't quite that bad, but
No, not yet.
yeah. When I see someone's video or something, I think sometimes I want to go, man, I want to go ride.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Let's
That's true.
go.
When I see a video, I do think about wanting to get out and go ride again.
Yeah.
Especially when it's been a long time since I've been out. Like, I haven't been out in quite a while now.
Yeah. When it sits for a while, you kind of miss it. It's like you look forward to the trips. I always look forward to getting out and riding and enjoy the trips, but there's too few and too far between.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, Dan, the last time I had mine now was when you were here. I don't think I've had it out since.
And so that's unusual for you. At least you always tell me you've been out, and so I'm like always jealous. And that's the other thing I'm jealous too, maybe a little bit of not being able to get out and ride more.
I'm a little closer to trails than you are too.
Yeah. Yeah, you had to, well, your shocks are leaking, so you can't go out too often.
That could be bad if your shocks are leaking. You don't want to.
Well, it doesn't make the machine less reliable. It just makes it uncomfortable to ride in.
Yeah, at our age, it's good to have a smooth ride.
That's true. We ended up having a great time out on the Paiute Trail and visiting with our friends. We weren't sure that this trip was going to happen, but I'm so glad that it did. It's really, really good and soothing for the soul to get together with folks you can laugh with and have a great time with and do something that everybody enjoys. We want to thank Jeff for joining us this time. It's always fun to hear these guys reminisce and talk about their experience on the trail.
We find it fitting to end this video the same way we ended every day of riding, just a little bit of corn bag.
No, I can't afford that.
No!